people don't come out of college and make $74,000 a year, but that's how spoiled and entitled. And so these players they're trying to build around, they're unlikable. Standing point that Angel Reese is the one that is going to hurt people's pocketbooks while Caitlin Clark is filling up people's pockets.
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Literally. I'm trying to think of like my rent for where I stay at.
You won't believe what Jason Whitlock just said about Angel Reese and Accusations Wilson. He's calling them out for threatening the WNBA's success.
74? I don't even know what salary. Does it? Let me see. You don't even... Yo! I'm living beyond my means!
Can you imagine that? Two of the biggest stars in women's basketball, and they're being accused of hurting the league they play for. But here's where it gets really crazy. Whitlock thinks Caitlin Clark is the one who could save the WNBA. Yeah, you heard that right.
Unlikable. I'm just sorry. She's just out of college. She's 22, 23. She can barely hit late.
The rookie from Iowa might be the league's secret weapon. Want to know why? Keep watching because we're about to break down this whole situation.
She's getting paid $74,000 for the WNBA. She's got, I'm sure, endorsement deals into the seven figures. So that's why she's laughing about this. And like, she's bragging how much money she makes and she doesn't need her WNBA salary. And I live in an $8,000 a month.
You know what's crazy? Jason Whitlock just dropped a bomb on the WNBA, and it's shaking things up big time. He's calling out Angel Reese and Accusations Wilson for being unlikable. You heard that right. Two of the biggest stars in women's basketball are getting some serious heat from Whitlock.
She's mocking working class people. I got out of college, Steve, at 23, and I made $5 an hour at the Bloomington.
But why? What did these star players do to upset him so much? Whitlock's not pulling any punches. He's claiming they're actually threatening the WNBA's success. That's a huge accusation to throw at two of the league's top players. He's pointing fingers at their attitudes and behavior off the court, saying it's pushing fans away from the game. Let's break this down. Whitlock's main beef seems to be with how Reese and Wilson are presenting themselves to the public. He thinks their actions and words are turning people off from the WNBA. Imagine that, the very players who are supposed to be the face of the league might be the ones hurting it. That's like LeBron James or Steph Curry somehow making people not want to watch the NBA. It sounds crazy, right? Whitlock's not just throwing out random complaints. He's got specific issues with both players. For Angel Reese, he's zeroing in on her recent comments about money. Reese went on a podcast and started talking about how her WNBA salary doesn't even cover her rent. Now, that might not sound too bad on its own, but Whitlock sees it differently. He thinks it makes Reese look entitled and out of touch, especially when you consider she's just 22 and fresh out of college. As Whitlock's got a bone to pick with her recent comments about white privilege. And was featured in the Ever of the Wall Street Journal, and in the interview, she talked about some pretty heavy topics. Whitlock thinks her words came across as mean-spirited. He's even bringing up some drama about Wilson's friend. But here's where it gets really interesting. While Whitlock's tearing into Reese and Wilson, he's actually praising someone else, Caitlin Clark. Yeah, the rookie from Iowa. Whitlock thinks Clark might be the secret weapon the WNBA needs right now. He's impressed by how she's just focused on playing ball and not getting caught up in all this drama. Think about it. Clark's bringing in new fans and attention to the league. People who've never watched a WNBA game before are tuning in just to see her play. That's huge for a league that's always fighting for more viewers. Whitlock sees Clark as a potential savior for the WNBA, someone who could change the game both on and off the court. So why is Jason Whitlock calling Angel Reese and Accusations Wilson unlikable? It all comes down to image and impact. He thinks their actions and words are pushing fans away from the league at a time when it needs all the support it can get. Meanwhile, Clark's quietly winning people over just by playing great basketball. Now let's talk about Accusations Wilson. You thought her game was impressive? Wait till you hear what she said off the court. Her comments about white privilege are causing more division than a ref's controversial call. What exactly did Wilson say that's got Jason Whitlock calling her mean-spirited? It all started with that Wall Street Journal cover. You know, the one where Accusations looked like a total boss. But it wasn't just about looking good. In that interview, Accusations opened up about some pretty heavy stuff, including white privilege. She was chatting with her teammate Kelsey and things got real. So what did Aja actually say? Well, she talked about how white privilege plays a role in sports, even in the WNBA. She pointed out that white players often get more endorsement deals and media attention, even if they're not the top performers on the court. Aja wasn't holding back, saying that it's frustrating to see this happening in a league where most of the players are black. But here's where it gets messy. Jason Whitlock didn't like what he heard, not one bit. He's calling Aja's comments mean-spirited and saying they're pushing fans away from the league. Whitlock thinks Aja's words are dividing people instead of bringing them together. He's worried that this kind of talk could hurt the WNBA's image and make it harder for the league to grow. And it's not just Whitlock who's upset. Aja's comments have sparked a huge debate in the WNBA community. Some people are backing her up, saying it's about time someone spoke out about these issues. They're praising Aja for using her platform to address problems that often get swept under the rug. But others, they're not happy at all. They think Aja's comments are unfair and that she's playing the race card. Some fans are even saying they'll stop watching WNBA games because of this. It's getting intense, with people arguing on social media and sports shows about whether Aja was right to speak up or if she went too far. And get this, Whitlock's not just mad about what Aja said. He's bringing up some wild stuff about her friends and online drama. He mentioned someone he calls some dude that pretends to be a woman named Dolores, who's apparently been involved in online harassment. Whitlock's saying this reflects badly on Aja's character. It's like he's trying to paint a picture of Aja as someone who's surrounded by controversy, both online and off. All this drama is happening right when the WNBA needs positive attention the most. The league's trying to grow its fan base and get more people excited about women's basketball. But now, instead of talking about amazing plays and nail-biting games, everyone's arguing about race and privilege. Just when you thought the WNBA couldn't handle more controversy, Angel Reese steps up to the mic. Her comments about money have fans scratching their heads. How can a rising star in women's basketball be complaining about rent? You won't believe what Angel Reese just said on her podcast. She's talking about her WNBA salary, and it's not pretty. Reese claims her paycheck doesn't even cover her $8,000 monthly rent. Yeah, you heard that right. $8,000 a month for rent? That's more than most people make in total. But here's the kicker. Angel Reese is only 22 years old and fresh out of college. She's barely stepped foot on a WNBA court, and she's already complaining about money? It's got people talking, and not in a good way. Let's break this down. Reese's WNBA salary is about $74,000 a year. That's not chump change for most folks, especially someone just starting their career. But Reese doesn't see it that way. She went on her podcast and said, "I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills literally." Now, you might be thinking, hold up, how is she affording that crazy rent if her WNBA salary doesn't cover it? Well, that's where things get interesting. Turns out Reese's WNBA paycheck is just a drop in the bucket compared to her other income. See, Angel Reese isn't just a basketball player. She's a brand. She's got endorsement deals that could be worth millions. We're talking big-time sponsorships, social media deals, the works. So why is she complaining about her WNBA salary when she's got all this other money coming in? That's exactly what's got people fired up. Fans and critics alike are calling Reese out for being entitled and out of touch. They're saying she doesn't understand how good she's got it. I mean, imagine complaining about a $74,000 salary when you're 22 and have other income streams most people can only dream of. This whole situation is making Jason Whitlock's unlikable comment look pretty spot on. Remember how he said Reese and Aja Wilson were hurting the WNBA's image? Well, Reese's rent comments aren't exactly helping her case. But here's something to think about. Is Reese just being honest about the financial realities of being a WNBA player? The league's salaries are way lower than what NBA players make. Maybe Reese is trying to shine a light on that pay gap. Or maybe she's just not great at managing her money. Either way, it's causing a stir. Amidst all this controversy, one player's quietly rewriting the rulebook. Caitlin Clark's not caught up in the money talk. She's too busy changing the game. But here's the kicker. Her impact might be bigger than anyone expected. Is she the WNBA's ticket to success? While everyone else is making headlines for all the wrong reasons, Caitlin Clark is letting her game do the talking. She's not tweeting about white privilege or complaining about her rent. Nope. Clark's out there draining threes and dishing out assists like it's nobody's business. And you know what? People are noticing. Jason Whitlock, the same guy who's been tearing into Angel Reese and Aja Wilson, is actually singing Clark's praises. He thinks she might be the key to saving the WNBA. Can you believe it? A rookie from Iowa might be the league's secret weapon. But why? Well, for starters, Clark's bringing in new fans like nobody's business. People who've never watched a WNBA game in their lives are tuning in just to see her play. It's like she's got some kind of basketball magic that's drawing people in. And it's not just casual fans. We're talking die-hard sports enthusiasts who are suddenly realizing that women's basketball can be just as exciting as the men's game. But it's not just about her skills on the court. Clark's got this attitude that's just different from what we've been seeing lately. She's not caught up in the drama or the politics. She's just there to play ball and have fun doing it. And you know what? That's refreshing as hell. Think about it. When was the last time you heard about a WNBA player and it wasn't about some controversy? Clark's changing that narrative. She's making people talk about actual basketball again. Her play style is electric. She's got this way of moving on the court that just keeps you glued to the screen. And her shooting? Forget about it. She's sinking shots from downtown like it's no big deal. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The WNBA might need to rethink its whole strategy with stars like Clark in the mix. One commentator even said, everything that happens in 2024 has a heightened importance because of what Caitlin Clark has done. That's huge. We're talking about a player who's not just changing games, but potentially changing the entire league. Clark's appeal is something special. She's not just attracting basketball fans. She's bringing in people who've never cared about the sport before. And that's exactly what the WNBA needs right now. They need someone who can bridge the gap between hardcore fans and casual viewers. Someone who can make people excited about women's basketball again. But here's the million-dollar question. Can the WNBA capitalize on Clark's popularity? They've got this incredible talent on their hands. Someone who's actually getting people to watch games. But will they know how to use her effectively? Will they build their marketing around her? Or will they stick to their old playbook and miss out on this golden opportunity?